plan que teníamos, pelear en medio del ring. En ocasiones me dio la pauta para poder estar en las cuerdas también. Y pues hicimos lo que teníamos que hacer, lo que teníamos planeado hacer para la pelea.
It's impossible to knock somebody out when he fights the fight not to be knocked out. But everybody here knows who won the first fight.
Let me tell you one thing. I believe Canelo will knock him out.
The first fight last September, well, that was business. September 15th of 2018 at the T-Mobile Arena, Canelo Triple G2. Well, that's personal. All right, Santa Monica is a place you must visit when you're in Southern California. And the beautiful waters of the Pacific Ocean. We will be soon on the waters on our next show of Cancun, Mexico, where Rashidi Ellis will put his 19-0 record on the line against Panama's Alberto Mosquera. You won't want to miss that at 9 p.m. Eastern on Friday, June 29th. That'll be on ESPN and streaming live on the ESPN app. Last time we were in Cancun, though, our main event fighter Vergil Ortiz made quick work of Evandro Caballero, dropping him with our overhand right. Earned the knockout in 21 seconds, although the result had to be reviewed by instant replay and was confirmed as a legal punch by the local commission. So at that time, Joel Diaz was his trainer. And now we see that Vergil Ortiz is on the fast track, headlining on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN in just his 10th fight. But that also means that he must step up in his competition. So Juan Carlos Salgado at age 33 with over 280 rounds as a professional, two-time world champion. What kind of challenges does he pose to the young prospect Vergil Ortiz?
Well, with all the experience, you know, he's seen it all. A former world champion, he comes here to derail a Vergil Ortiz, a young Vergil Ortiz that has a perfect record of 9-0 with 9 knockouts. And he can, with his experience, he can give Vergil some problems. But now we have a Vergil Ortiz here, which is strong, heavy-handed fighter, very disciplined, that's coming very, very strong in the sport of boxing.
And the finest moment in Juan Carlos Salgado's career happened against an undefeated world champion who was signed by Golden Boy. And that was in October of 2009 in Tokyo, when he dropped then unbeaten world champion Jorge Linares twice in the first round, prompting the stoppage win that crowned him world champion for the first time. He would go on to lose the WBA super featherweight title in his first defense, but then he would bounce back 3 fights later to win the IBF version of the 130-pound title and make 3 successful defenses. So he's got the mentality, Joel, that he can do it again tonight.
Well, he has the experience, most of all. You know, he has the experience, and he thinks he can stop Vergil Ortiz tonight to get back on track for another opportunity.
Now, nobody knows Vergil Ortiz, the fighter, better than Joel Diaz. He trained him at the tail end of his amateur career. You also trained him during the first 9 fights of his pro career, all knockout wins. So what makes Vergil special?
What makes Vergil special? Vergil is a very disciplined fighter. He has power on both hands, and he has accuracy. He's a very smart fighter in the ring.
He is extremely smart. He knows what to do when he has his opponent hurt. But no fighter is perfect. So, Joel, you also know what he needs to work on. What are those things that Vergil would be well served to be working on?
Vergil has one little thing, that when he feels his opponent and he hurts him, he goes for the kill and he gets a little reckless. He smothers his punches a little bit, so he can get into trouble by exchanging when a fighter is hurt. And that's one of the things that he needs to work on a little more.
Now, if we can say one thing about Vergil Ortiz, apart from the fact that he punches well with both hands, is that he has had elite sparring. In your camp, he was sparring Lucas Matisse. Now he spars Mikey Garcia, so it doesn't get any better than that. But tonight, it's not a sparring session. We're here at the Velasco for tonight's main event on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN to see if Vergil Ortiz can make the step from prospect to contender. He'll have to do it against a 2-time world champion, Juan Salgado, who believes that at age 33, he can still make a name for himself if he beats Vergil Ortiz. Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. And And there is the statue of Oscar De La Hoya outside the Staples Center where he fought Sugar Shane Mosley. Amazing fight, and no one better to represent this city of angels. And now we bring you inside the gilded ceiling of the Belasco Theater, ready for our main event of the evening. And Juan Carlos Salgado, the fighter who comes into this fight from Mexico City. Well, when he made his pro debut in March of 2003, his opponent tonight, Vergil Ortiz, well, he was just 4 years old. A lot has happened since then. Vergil Ortiz has become a heralded prospect, a great amateur career, but all is not as it seems. Our own Beto Duran gives us all the latest leading into Vergil 10 professional fight.
9-0, 9 KOs. It seems like it's perfect, right? Like it's easy. Well, it hasn't been for Vergil Ortiz. He now has a new trainer. And in his last fight, he felt something in his back. And instead of talking about it, he still went on and fought, got the victory. Doesn't speak much, but the young 19-year-old out of Grand Prairie, Texas, knows that when he's in the ring, he's being fast-tracked, and he knows that he needs to put on a show.
I knew there was something wrong, maybe like a few months back. And, you know, it just gradually getting worse and worse. And I stopped training a week before, actually, and my weight skyrocketed up. I went 20 pounds overweight, so I had to lose 20 pounds that week already. I was already feeling drained. But I wanted to fight because I was fighting for a belt, my first belt. My family was going to be there for the first time watching me fight. And, you know, that really made me want to fight. Despite, you know, all the problems I was having.
It's another stoppage.
Right after the fight, I was in so much pain. I couldn't even sit down, couldn't stand up. I couldn't do anything, honestly. Even though I won every fight by knockout, I think if it was going the way that it has been, if I kept going down that path, eventually, I think maybe I wasn't wanting to get knocked out, you know. This is my first main event, and I'll be fighting in LA. I've always wanted to fight in LA. It's a big city, and you know, there's a lot of people that'll be coming. And I wouldn't be surprised if there's a full house. And against an experienced fighter, you know, I've always wanted to show people, you know, what I was made of. I'm not worried about any, you know, ring rust or the layoff or anything because I have the top-notch sparring, and I'm sparring pretty much almost every day, and it's really shaking all the rust off pretty fast too.
There's Vergil Ortiz, who's got 6 knockouts in the first round, 1 knockout in the second frame, and a pair of stoppages in the third round. I suggest you don't go anywhere because this young man is explosive. And now we take a look at the tail of the tape. You could say this is Vergil Ortiz's quinceañera because he's only fought 14 rounds as a pro in his first 9 fights. His opponent has fought 218 more rounds. So Juan Carlos Salgado, at age 33 with a 15-year pro career, believes experience will help guide him to victory as he is 13 years older than Vergil Ortiz. Joe Martinez in the center of the ring with the official introductions.
All right, now, ladies and gentlemen, live on ESPN from Belasco Theater here in Los Angeles, California, it is time for the main event of the evening. 10 rounds of boxing, this scheduled in the super lightweight division, brought to you by Oscar De La Hoya's Golden Boy Promotions and sponsored by Tecate, the official beer of boxing, and Hennessy, never stop, never settle. Sanctioned by the California State Athletic Commission, the executive officer, Andy Foster, and chairman, John Carvelli. The 3 judges appointed, scoring this bout at ringside, Jerry Cantu, Hall of Famer Dr. Lou Moret, and Daniel Sandoval. And when the action begins inside the ring, your referee in charge, Hall of Famer Raul Caes. And now, ladies and gentlemen, the judges are ready, and the fighters are ready. Los Angeles, California, make some noise if you are ready! Introducing to you first, fighting out of the blue corner, wearing silver, trimmed in red, he weighed in officially 139 3/4 pounds. A 36-fight veteran, he brings an outstanding record of 27 victories, 8 defeats, 1 draw with 16 wins, coming by way of knockout del Distrito Federal, Mexico. Here is Juan Carlos Salgado. And his his opponent across the ring, fighting out of the red corner, wearing blue with gold, weighed in 139 and 1/2 pounds. In 9 professional bouts, he stands perfect, 9 victories, all 9 wins coming by way of knockout. Here's the undefeated super lightweight from Dallas, Texas, Vergil Ortiz Jr. Once again, your referee, Raul Caiz, with the final instruction.
Vergil.
We need some light.
Juan Carlos, muchachos, necesitas instrucciones hacia abajo. El calzón aquí está un poquito alto, así que aquí está bien, aquí también. Buena suerte y váyanse a la esquina a esperar la campana.
Raul Caiz Jr. Raul Caiz, the third man in the ring this evening, alongside Joel Diaz. I'm Bernardo Osuna. You'll be hearing ringside reports from our very own Beto Duran throughout this fight. But with Vergil Ortiz, you just don't know how long a fight is going to last, Joel.
It could go 1 round, it could go 2 rounds. That's the way it is. This kid is very, very explosive.
He's never seen the 4th round as a pro. He's got 2 knockouts in the 3rd round, 1 in the 2nd, and the other 6 immediately in the opening stanza. He said he's been working on settling down, not going after his opponents so quickly. Is this the point of his career where rounds would do Ortiz well?
Yeah, but you know, with Vergil, if he goes the rounds, it's good, but at the same time, I mean, he has execution power.
Oh, there you see it. The left hook, as Salgado was trying to open up with a right, rocks the fighter from Mexico, the 2-time world champion, in trouble early here against the highly touted prospect who's got 9 knockouts and 9 wins. Nice uppercut there from Salgado with the right.
See, Vergil already felt that he can hurt him. At this point, Vergil is just a matter of time landing the right shot, because Vergil starts good to the head, and then he'll find a way to land that shot to the body. He's got poison on the left hook to the body.
Poison on the left, poison on the right. I mean, that guy is throwing poison darts inside the ring.
And there's no way any fighter is going to try to clinch with Vergil Ortiz, because he's real tricky. His father teaches him really, really well as far as the inside game, how to walk out of a clinch, how to step aside. He knows every angle of the ring.
Don't push, don't push.
Once again from Vergil Ortiz. Loves to double up on that jab, create openings in his opponent's guard. There you see it on cue.
It's very dangerous for Salgado to open up, throw punches and stay exposed. Vergil's going to catch that. Vergil can see the openings. With it just a few rounds, he'll figure them out.
I mean, that was a solid jab that stopped Salgado in his tracks. As Salgado was just thinking of opening up and throwing a punch, here comes Vergil now on the attack once again. There's that left hook to the liver.
Once he lands that left hook to the liver, and then he's going to execute the legs of Juan Carlos Salgado.
He was able to put an elbow down there and protect the body. As a wily veteran of over almost 300 rounds, Salgado knows what he's doing in the ring. He feels that he can test Vergil Ortiz tonight. So far, it's been a stellar round for the unbeaten fighter out of Dallas, Texas. Nice jab.
We'll see. You know, Salgado stepping in against a young, strong Vergil Ortiz, he's very composed in this round. He's not the fighter that would come in and smother, look for the knockout. First round is over, and you know he's studied. He's doing his homework. He's studying, finding openings, countering on the way.
Tiempo.
Ready for round 2 of a scheduled 10 rounder. The first time Vergil Ortiz has been scheduled 10. Remind you, he's never seen the 4th round of a pro fight. And he told us in the fighter meetings, I already have heavy hands. I'm a heavy puncher and I stay well inside. But he said, I'm working on not smothering myself while staying in the pocket. And he was able to do that here in the first round, kind of laying off after hurting Salgado.
He did really well. You know, he stayed composed. And as Robert told him in the corner, you know, you're fighting against an experienced fighter. Don't play his game. Don't fall into his tricky game.
Right, Beto Duran was in Juan Carlos Salgado's corner. What is the feeling there, Beto? And we'll get Beto's thoughts momentarily.
No pushes, tío, no pushes.
Ooh, nice body shot from Juan Carlos Salgado. All right, Beto, and I think we're going to hear you now. What were they saying in Salgado's corner?
Salgado's corner said, you know he has a lot of power, but you've been in with guys that have that punching power. Keep your hands up. And also, this kid is leaving himself open. You need a jab and tirar el gancho. What's that mean? Hook, right?
Exactly.
All right, good. I learned.
Inglés sin barreras for Beto Duran here early on in this fight. As Raul Caiz warns Vergil Ortiz not to be pulling down on the neck of Juan Carlos Salgado.
Vergil comes in with a nice, solid jab. He has great jabs. Every time he throws a jab, that jab comes with power. He can hurt you with the jab as well. But he does that. It's part of his game. He's always reading his opponent. He's throwing the jab, making him commit. So when he throws, he catches him on the way in. Like he landed that body shot, he's gonna keep looking for the body shot because he knows it's effective for him.
This combination punching too from Vergil Ortiz, who throws the left hook once again, trying to set up Juan Carlos Salgado. And it's rare that you would say that because usually you'd say, hey, the veteran Salgado is trying to set the kid up, but it's the other way around.
It's Vergil. And in this case, Vergil Ortiz is the one that's going to land the best shots. Even though Salgado is pretty quick of his own. He's using some tricks of his own. His experience is coming in at this time now.
The left hook to the body, and he's making Salgado breathe through the mouth, and then he goes up top with a left hook. And Vergil Ortiz finding a home now for his right hand. And you mentioned, you know him better than anybody. He's got power, and he can crack with both hands.
He can crack with both hands. If he hits you on top or on the bottom, he can hurt you.
You see the legs of Juan Carlos Salgado, or more than anything, the strength of Ortiz is he's able to push Salgado backwards.
Yes, Vergil is an athletic kid. He's very athletic, very disciplined. He always pushes himself to the extremes. So, you know, conditioning comes in very handy in this type of fight.
I remember when you were training him, you'd say, I have to hold him back from training because he always wants to run at 1,000 miles per hour. That's not conducive to a long future. All right, let's listen into the corners here as they prepare for the third round. And I need you to finish the last round strong, says the corner of Salgado. Now we're in the Hennessy corner camp listening to Robert Garcia.
Don't get careless anyways, okay? Don't get careless, okay? Keep that jab going. When you stay in the ropes, it's because you want to catch him. You want to catch him, bend your knees, catch him with a good uppercut. You know, good uppercuts. Body, then uppercuts. When you're waiting for him, wait for him. Boom, right? He comes in right for that uppercut, okay? Keep that in there. And then step around him and get back to the jab. Keep using that jab. Very smart. Keep using that jab. Feel good? Condition good? Yeah. Okay. Look, this guy's got experience. He's a survivor, all right? So don't get careless. Fight smart. Fight smart.
Here we talk about Vergil setting up his combinations and always on his counters. He's so slick with his right hand. He lands his right hand and then he hits that body with the left hook.
I mean, when you talk about precision, that's something that is evident when you look at the numbers of a Vergil Ortiz fight. He's economical with his punches, but boy, does he make them count.
Oh, he makes sure that every punch he throws is gonna land. One of the things that Vergil has as well, he loves sparring every day. He says that the more he spars, the better for him because it just makes his timing better. And like you said, he's getting better sparring. You know, as you can see, Robert Garcia has a lot of fighters, and you know that there are now sparring with Vergil. He gets a lot of sparring right now. Vergil, at this point in Robert Garcia's camp, he's got a buffet of fighters to spar with. You know, from top fighters like Mikey Garcia to up and coming prospects.
Yep, and we see the punch stat numbers there. Nice percentage for Vergil Ortiz, who now connects and sends Salgado reeling back towards the ropes, and Salgado leans down, and then comes the uppercut. Very efficient and very intelligent is Vergil Ortiz. He can switch things up. He's not predictable at all, Joel.
He's not predictable. You can never read Vergil Ortiz. Right there, he sort of felt he hurt Salgado, and he sort of smothered himself a little bit. But you know, he got back on track. He got his distance, and he's now establishing his jab and his distance again to set up for a good punch again.
Earlier in the fight, Robert Garcia was telling Vergil, you've got 10 rounds to play with. Don't rush it. But as you see there in the graphic, he's never been past 3 rounds as a pro. He's He's got a minute 20 seconds to prove that he will continue with that streak, or will he do what he always does and finish his guy before the 9-minute mark. Nice snap tuck to the liver, and down goes Salgado. I don't think he's getting up, and neither does the referee, Raul Caiz Jr. And so no, he will not get past 3 rounds. It just seems like this is his magic number.
I told you, it's that body shot that he lands that you don't see coming. He's so precise with that body shot that once he lands it, it's over.
And boy, was it over here. You could just see Salgado still down after, about a minute after being hit to the body with the left hook. And Vergil Ortiz just celebrating because he knows that once a fighter goes down and feels that power, he may not get up. And that is the case with Salgado, who the 2-time world champion meets the young fighter who now improves to 10-0. All of his fights by stoppage, none of them past the 3rd round.
I can tell you this, every single one of his sparring partners in the gym have felt that shot. I'm telling you, when he was in my camp, every single one of my fighters that sparred with Vergil Ortiz felt that shot. And I know that now, in his new stable, every single sparring partner he has felt that shot. Even Mikey Garcia, I guarantee you.
Mikey, and that, in your case, it was Lucas Matisse, other world champions. I mean, this guy continues to make a name for himself, and here it is. He sets it up, he hits him one to the body, then the overhand right, and here you can see Salgado's feeling the shot. And let's see how this fight came to an end. Ooh, to the solar plexus, not the liver, the left hook to the solar plexus.
Like I mentioned it earlier, he's so precise with his timing. Once he gets that timing on, he just lands that shot right where he wants to land it.
Impressive victory once again for Vergil Ortiz, who says he doesn't need the judges. He didn't smother himself as much in this fight, and he was clean in the way he got in and out throughout the fight. And what an impressive victory for this young man, who is perfect in terms of knockouts per fight. All right, let's make it official now with Joe Martinez in the center of the ring.
Ladies and gentlemen, the end comes at the official time, 1 minute, 52 seconds, round number 3. Referee Raul Caiz stops this bout for your winner by KO victory and still undefeated, Vergil Ortiz Jr.
Impressive win for Vergil Ortiz, and this was the week of the NBA draft. And if you could draft a prospect right now, many would take Vergil Ortiz #1. He's with our own Beto Duran in the center of the ring.
You said you're going to get put on ESPN, you said you're going to put on a show, and you knocked him out. How do you feel, Vergil? It's okay to smile, bro.
I feel great. You know, he was a very experienced fighter. I expected to go a lot more rounds than he gave me, but in those 3 rounds, he shared a lot of experience with me, and I'm grateful for that.
Now, when this fight was announced, you tweeted a fight against a former world champion. You're all excited, but you also said this guy's on the backside of his career. What do you want next?
You know, I want to continue fighting experienced fighters, and you know, I don't want to jump up to world champion. You know, I can't fight the world champions right now. I got to get that experience and not get too ahead of myself. But eventually, within 2 years, I'll get there.
Now, I just asked him, how did that punch feel? I know it's a dumb question for me. I had never been hit myself. But he said, I've never been hit like that in that spot. We've also heard from Joel Diaz saying that in his camp, you hit guys like that. In the camp, you hit that. Is that your favorite punch?
It honestly is my favorite punch, especially in the amateurs. You know, people can have a chin, but you really can't have a body. If you get hit right there, it's over.
You're 19. It doesn't sound like you're too excited. Oh, I'm sorry. You're 20. You're growing up now. But you don't sound like you're too happy with your performance.
Oh, I mean, it's expected, you know? I mean, once I win a world championship, when I win my world championship, it's going to be the same reaction. When I become a great, win 5, 6, 7 world championships, then I'll be satisfied.
10-0, 10 KOs, and he's 20. I made the mistake. Vergil Ortiz, line him up, knock him out, Bernie.
That's exactly what he's doing so far. Thank you very much, Beto. And Vergil Ortiz continues to make a name for himself, headlining on ESPN in only his 10th professional fight. He told us in the fighter meetings, I didn't expect to be where I am today this fast, but if he continues to do this, Joel, he'll be getting a world title shot in no time.
Oh, definitely. He's very disciplined, like I said. And as you can see what he did today, he's gonna keep doing it because he's hungry and he has all the tools to do it. He'll be a world champion in no time.
All right. So Vergil Ortiz comes away with a knockout. We'll come back with more here on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN is presented by Tecate, the official beer of boxing. And it's brought to you by Hennessy. Never stop, never settle. And it's also brought to you by Canelo Triple G2 live on pay-per-view September the 15th. And just some of the fights of the year that have taken place here in Los Angeles with great venues such as the StubHub Center, the Staples Center, the Forum, and the great work done by promoters such as Oscar De La Hoya and Golden Boy Promotions. Well, they've done well to bring great fights to this great fight city of Los Angeles. And we're just a few miles down from the Olympic Auditorium, the place where it all started. And Friday on ESPN, we won't be in this wonderful city. We will be in Cancun because our main event showcases undefeated Rashidi Speedy Ellis, who takes on one of the top prospects in welterweight division, against Alberto Mosquera, live from Cancun. Catch it Friday at 9 Eastern on ESPN. And then next Saturday, it'll be Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez putting his WBO super middleweight title on the line for the 4th time against Romer Alexis Angulo in our top-ranked boxing main event. That'll be in Oklahoma City, 12 rounds on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and streaming live on the ESPN app. I will be at both places. I'll be in Cancun for Rashidi Ellis, and then I will be in Oklahoma City for Gilberto Zurdo Ramirez. You'll join me in Cancun as you were joining me tonight here. Joel, you saw your former pupil, Vergil Ortiz, perform and do what he always does. What did it feel like to see him perform in this fashion as a headliner for the first time on ESPN?
Well, it was something that was coming his way because he has earned his spot here. I mean, his performances, one after another, has put him in this position, in this spot, a main event on ESPN. And, you know, I'm really happy for Vergil Ortiz, you know, to see him win. And most of all, to put in what he does in the gym. He puts in good work. He works extremely hard. And his craft is getting better. I mean, he's only 19 years old. I mean, he's only going to get better as he grows into the sport of boxing.
You know, that's one of the things that you've told me from the first time we broadcasted his fights here on ESPN and through Golden Boy Boxing. You've always said his discipline. And when you look towards the future, that's one of the things that you're always concerned about is, will this fighter fall into that same pitfall that, you know, stalls so many careers? How do you see his career arc going?
Well, you know, with his father by his side, he's obviously he's gonna be on the right path because his dad is always watching him. He wants the best for him. So, you know, as long as he stays with a positive mentality, he keeps doing what he's doing, work, and he keeps looking for what he wants to be. He don't only want to be a one-time world champion. He says he wants to be 5-time world champion, 6-time world champion, and he will succeed because he's hungry. He's a very, very hungry kid in the sport of boxing. That I have not seen a kid like that in many, many, many years. I've trained fighters since I retired my career in 1997, and since that point on, I have never seen a kid that has such power, such discipline, and such intelligence in the ring.
You know, there's a lot of great prospects out there. We saw another one tonight in Hector Finito Tanajara. There's, you know, Shakur Stevenson. There's a lot of talent out there, but you've always said that he is your guy. He was the guy that you really knew would become a champion from your stable. By far,
Vergil Ortiz, anywhere he is in the world, regardless of what stable he's in, he's going to be a superstar. He's going to be a superstar, and you can see it. He's maturing in the sport. He's getting better. At just 19 years old, wait till he's 25. He's going to be the next superstar in the sport of boxing.
All right, Beto Duran, a superstar in his own right, actually got Vergil Ortiz to smile, so that's an accomplishment in and of itself. Beto, what are your thoughts on his performance tonight?
Before the fight, I was down in the locker room talking with him, just asking him some questions. It was normal, and he had that locked-in look. And, Coach, you know this about him. This kid is very serious, You know, now that he's with Robert Garcia, his dad's living with him, and he said, you know, it doesn't matter where I'm at, I'm going to train. I don't leave my room. I run, I box, and I'm going to win.
Yeah, and he's a winner not only inside the ring, but outside of it, Beto, because he's a fighter that taught himself how to play the guitar. He's an artist now because he also plays the piano. I mean, this is who he is, and we had a great night here on Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. Ferdinand Korobian coming away with a stoppage win, and then it was Hector Finito Tanahara coming away with a hard-fought decision against his opponent from Venezuela. And then the crowning moment, first time headlining as a pro on ESPN, it was Vergil Ortiz stopping his opponent with a body shot. He goes out in style, as do we. This has been Golden Boy Boxing on ESPN. Until next time.